Hello and welcome to Activate and Thrive. I'm Don Krishnaswamy and
I'm Mia Krishnaswamy.
and we have these Thriving Thursday chats each week with different beautiful health-minded souls, and health in the largest sense of the word in any area in life where we are seeking better health, whether it's physical, mental, or any area. And so we run these chats every Thursday at noon Eastern US time. And you can look for these on our Facebook live page at Activate and Thrive, on our Activate and Thrive page as a Facebook Live. And also, we post them on Instagram and on YouTube. So wherever you're watching this, whether live with us right now or on Instagram or YouTube later, welcome. We're so glad that you're joining us.
Thank you, friends. Our guest today, we're very excited about Angel Lotus. She's been a massage therapist and yoga instructor for over 25 years. This includes managing a wellness center in Minnesota. So she's familiar with the joys as well as the struggles of a brick and mortar business. And after the passing of her first husband to a rare cancer, she closed her wellness center and she took a life journey to Italy and to Thailand. And then upon returning stateside, she married her husband, Casper, and they opened a dog sitting business in Arizona. We might be blessed by some of those appearances. We'll see what happens. But Angel's always been a big fan of being her own boss and has always been passionate also about sharing vitality and health and wellness and just optimal radiance with her friends and family. That led her to align with a health and wellness company when she was looking for an additional stream of income that would just complement her other work and allow her time freedom. So she feels like she's won the lottery landing with her company and with the incredible people that are involved. And we would agree because it's also how our paths crossed. So welcome, Angel. We're so happy to have you with us today.
It's my pleasure, and I'm so excited, so blessed to have you guys as friends, and I'm excited to just share today and perhaps inspire somebody. We'll see.
Well, I know you will. What would you say is, to start off with, what would you say is your biggest blessing of being your own boss?
Time freedom
Mm.
for me. For me personally, everybody else, that's going to be a little something different when you're your own boss. That could be financial freedom. A lot of people move into their own arena of their own business for time, for financial reasons. Most people are motivated for financial reasons. I was already quite successful, but didn't have enough time or play time with my friends and my family in my life. So time freedom for me was the biggest blessing for sure. And that can equate to all kinds of different things for people. That can be quiet time for meditation. That could be really special time together with your children or your spouse. And that's what it is for me, is definitely with my spouse. So.
Well, that's wonderful. And I mean, there are many people in our world who are blessed with being able to be in charge of their own work and be their own boss. And of course, there are so many who are not in that position, who are having to report to somebody else, be under the pressure of working for somebody else, basically helping somebody else realize their dreams and working in support of that. And that can be difficult on many levels. So can you talk about, you know what, actually, I'm gonna retrace that. We're gonna come back to that question. I'd like to actually ask a different question first. Sorry.
Sounds
That's
good.
a good question coming up, but before first, something about you, for someone who overcame great loss in your life and then took time to reinvent yourself. What led you from that, shall we call it, wilderness experience to then opening, you have a dog sitting business, right? To opening your dog sitting business.
Everybody's path is going to be unique and different. My path was through grief, and through grief is how I found the preciousness in life. and that every choice we make, we get to make those choices in life. And that ultimately is up to us. I had to go through, I guess I needed a big knock, knock, puddinhead moment to realize that every moment is precious and to seize that moment to the best of your ability. And we all can do that, whether you're your own boss or not. So addressing Don's third question.
Next question. Right, yeah.
And we get to do those in the little subtle moments in our life. You know, we get to choose to answer with love and patience and kindness in a moment that's not so awesome, could be totally frustrating, could be somebody's treating you meanly or unthoughtfully. If you just take a breath, find your center and make your choice, how you want to move through this life with grace and strength, that's how everybody can move through life. That's the lesson that everybody can take through, that we're all thrown all kinds of obstacles. My aunt just lost her house in a fire, right? That's a giant obstacle. And she is, crazily enough, the happiest I've ever heard her in years and years. Just feels like all this freedom. I certainly wouldn't recommend that, but that was her moment, her aha moment to like, look, every moment that we have, that we're breathing, that we're existing, that we're contributing to life, other people's lives, we get that choice. We get the choice to smile, be gentle, be graceful, live in gratitude, or we can be curmudgeonly. I mean, it's certainly a choice. Being curmudgeon, being cranky, being mean is easy. It's an easy default. I think we default to cranky. I think it's easy. I think choosing happiness and joy and in all the little moments, if you're stuck in a situation where your boss is really like, oh, this crazy overseer and it's overwhelming, you're still the one that's in control of you. You're still the one that's in control of your minds, your thoughts, your presence, and how you move forward, right? So you get to choose how they influence your circular bubble of life and vitality. Only you give them permission to steal it, or you can keep drooping on them and maybe one day they will all of a sudden be influenced by your strength and grace and funness. And I remember one time when somebody a long time ago said, that angel, she's too happy. There's no way, it must be fake. And I'm like, well, sort of. It's fake to a point that I get to choose to be happy. And then once I choose to be happy, I really claim that moment. Then from that moment on, that's me. That's my vibration. I get to be happy. So that's sort of a long answer to a big question.
But
Huh?
wouldn't you say it's mainly because of this laugh sign above your bed that just goes by osmosis during the night? I think that's what it must be. Love that little sign above your bed. That's awesome.
Laughter
So,
is incredibly
it sounds like what you're saying is, as you were able to come out of the experience of loss by choosing how you respond to it. Would that really be the bottom line? Choosing what your response is going to be.
Ultimately, you know, and then I think the second most important thing is I have a tremendous amount of support and love from friends and family. And I utilize isn't the right word. I graciously accept that. So I surround myself with people that support me and uplift me, but vice versa. It works both ways, right? When somebody needs a really good listening ear, I am always there for them. And that support allowed me to make much better choices and live in that happiness and choose better, because it's easy when you're constantly being lifted up, or you're the one lifting up. That's a great way to get out of a funk right away, is a space of gratitude and helping others. It always brings yourself up too. And so being surrounded and surrounding yourself and helping others and allowing others to graciously help you, that having that support, priceless, right? We can choose to be isolated in those moments that are difficult and challenging for us, but then we have to crawl out by ourselves, and that's lonely and difficult and dark. And when you surround yourself with other people that can just give you that little spark of light, I could list hundreds of people. I'm not talking about one or two incredibly special people in my life. I'm talking about hundreds of people that I know if I just picked up the phone and said, well, can I have 5 minutes? I need to vent, or I just need 5 minutes of I just need to hear your voice. I just need to hear your laughter. They're there for me, but in response, I am definitely there for them too.
I think of your experience in Italy and Thailand after the tragedy that you experienced. And what it reminds me of is the book and the movie Eat, Pray, Love.
I've heard that a few times.
Totally, because she needed to come to a place where she valued what was really, truly important, because none of us has a guarantee of tomorrow. We don't know what that looks like, but we do have a guarantee of how we choose to see life and experience life and really value the blessings that are already there all around us, regardless of what we're facing.
Well said, Mia. That's exactly it.
Well, the question that I had started to ask before, which is the next one on my list here, so I didn't go to it next. We sometimes follow these, sometimes we don't, but we have been addressing it already, but I'll just ask the question, which is for those who may feel that they are stuck in a working situation that they don't like, and I'm sure many people identify with that. I've been there, Mia has been there big time. Who hasn't, right? So, or they're feeling that no matter how hard they work, they're just not able to get on top. Maybe they fundamentally like their work, but they're not getting on top, or certainly when they don't like it and aren't getting on top, that's even worse. So the question was, can you share mindset ideas that can help, will lift one out of this feeling of helplessness? But you have already said some beautiful things that are at the core of the mindset needed. The biggest one is, how am I going to respond to this situation? So let me reframe the question then a little bit. What if we are doing our very best to be in that better mindset place, and we know that we're trying to respond the very best we can, we are trying to surround ourselves with support, and yet things aren't changing? What would you say about that?
That's a great question, Don. Wow. Baby steps. Practice and baby steps.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you one of the bigger as an adult moment, because I have some really fun kid moments in my life being an entrepreneur. But I had an incredible job working for the government right out of high school. I was so blessed, and so many people would think of this job as an incredible, amazing opportunity, and it was. It paid fantastic. It had benefits, healthcare. I worked short daytime hours with weekends off. That's most people's dream job, right? Mm-hmm. I was 18 when I started that job. And I would be in that same job until I was 65. And I was blessed enough to be in the right place at the right time, but it wasn't my passion. I loved the job. I loved the people I worked with, but it wasn't my passion. Something was missing. Every day I got up and went to work. I'm like, every day, even being surrounded by pretty decent, good people to work with, right? Every day was like, isn't there more? There's got to be more. My soul wants to shine. It still wants more than even this exceptional opportunity. So for me, it was really putting on that brave face. And I like to use the analogy of baseball. I used to play baseball. I love softball. And I used to be a base runner. And I was very, very good at it. I could run the bases and very good at stealing bases. So from first to second, second to third, and oh my gosh, home run, right? But you have to start on first before you can get to second. And sometimes you run halfway to second, and you run back to first. And you're almost a second. No, and you have to run all the way back. And for me, when I transitioned into that job and then going all on my own for massage and yoga, being my own boss, no benefits, no guaranteed income, that was huge for me. And I literally had to just put on my brave suit and put on my cleats. And I just kept running from first to second, knowing I'm going to make it to second. Might take a little bit of practice. I'm going to get there. And then pretty soon I made it to second. I'm like, okay, I have the new space for my massage practice. I can do this. I can start part-time. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to work the government job and massage part-time. And then I'm going to start stretching to third. And pretty soon I practiced that every day, just filling myself with confidence, bravery. Sometimes I went back to second before I'd make it to third, right? And that's okay. All those learning moments, all those little baby steps. And eventually, I just had to convince myself that I could do this. And, even the closest people in my life, my father was this voice on my shoulder, like, you are crazy, girl. He had been laid off from job after job after job, and a great worker, strong work ethic. That's where I get my incredible work ethic from, is from my dad.
Mhm.
And he had all this fear. He had so much fear that he almost quashed my dreams of ever even trying to go for third, gosh forbid, home base, right? But every day I'm like, I got this. I got this. Every day I'd get one more or two more clients. And pretty soon I was sliding into home base. And I have to share that this would not be everybody's experience. But when I was ready and my mindset shifted and I was sliding into home base, not only could I easily afford benefits for myself, pay for them for myself, I doubled my income the first year. So that's huge. So
Well, it is.
Wow. Yeah.
You answered the next question I was going to have for you, which was, how do you find the courage to embrace that change when you feel like you are in a job because it's paying those bills, it's a good job, you got the benefits and all of that stuff, but you don't feel at one with that experience. And so how do you get to the next place? And you just explained it beautifully with the baseball analogy and, step by step. And, maybe you have to retrace and then you go forward. But that's really, really beautiful, because we have to stand up
yes.
for our freedom and for our own inner joy if it's not aligned with where we are.
Yes. So I'm just going to expand a little bit on that. The next thing I was looking for in my life was something that was just really part-time that I could do on my own. And that's where I landed in the health and wellness business, which is touching my heart. But I want to speak to people that this could speak to people on a different level that are really stuck. They don't ever have the opportunity to be their own boss, or they don't think they have the opportunity to be their own boss, right? But there are so many beautiful opportunities out there to do something part-time. Most people think if they're going to take something on, it's just going to be this huge added responsibility and all this time taker, right? They really think it's going to be a burden, this just one more giant burden. They haven't shifted the thought process to realize it could just be in tiny little increments in the day. It could make space to let your heart shine and soar and have fun. And it doesn't have to be overwhelming. And it can just be small and little, while on top of what you're already doing, in addition to, without being a burden, because it brings you so much joy, so much satisfaction, so much opportunity for the mind to dream and think big again. And it can be in little things. It doesn't have to be this giant. It's like that. It's just, I love the analogy of how do you eat an elephant? Not that I'd ever eat an elephant. However, it's one bite at a time. But we don't do that in our head. Our head immediately goes to the elephant.
Yes.
The elephant in the room, the elephant, and the elephant is huge. But really, it's one bite. It's one bite at a time. And what if it was one bite of your favorite food of all time, and you just got to savor every bite, and every bite just filled you with nutrition and vibrancy and radiance. One bite. That's all it takes. It doesn't have to be this giant, overwhelming burden, right? So I think it might be fun to just share a little bit about how long have I been thinking this way? And the answer is 11. I was 11 when I first started my own babysitting entrepreneurial business. I was so busy babysitting that I couldn't babysit. I finally convinced a few families I could babysit their families together, but then there was still only one of me. So then I pulled in all of my friends and opened up a babysitting referral business. So
At 11, at age 11,
age
I'm very
11.
impressed.
That's not your
Age
average
11.
lemonade, not your average lemonade stand, right?
Not at all, right? Not at all.
I was
So-
a late bloomer.
Yes, it's okay. It's so fun. But that transitioned and then to the very next year to this cool opportunity. It's a funny opportunity. So I just want to share this with you because I look back as an adult now and went, oh, who was that girl? She was crazy. But I had this job. My dad had a very dear friend who had a sanitation business, and everybody would bring their garbage to the back of this semi in the middle of the nowhere, in the middle of the country in Montana. And the garbage would blow out of these trucks into these big giant wheat fields. And he had a government contract to hire someone to pick up all of this garbage. Just had to be done like once a week or something like that. So I'd go out on the weekend. I was 12. At that time, minimum wage was like $2.32. But this government contract paid $10 an hour.
Wow.
I was 12. So here's the funny part. I just have to share because it's so fun. And it's about thinking outside of the box, right?
Yes.
So I got paid 8 hours, whether I worked 10 hours, 2 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, didn't matter. I still got paid $80 for the one day I worked. Didn't matter how long it took me. So I started out by going out by myself, and oh my gosh, there I am twiddling through the wheat fields, picking up all this garbage, and it easily took me 6 to 8 hours. And it was lonely. I'd have my little Walkman and listen to my music. But I quickly realized my friends were asking, what are you doing every Saturday or Sunday? I'm like, I'm picking up garbage. And I'm like, you want to come help? So I hired them for $2 an hour. And the three of us would go out and be done in 2 hours. And I still got paid $80. So years later, when we were adults, I told them.
Oh, they're like, yeah.
I told them how much I was making. And they're like, they were so happy to make $2 an hour, right?
Yeah, right.
So it was so much fun. And I saved the money. I'm sure I probably philanthropically spent it on some good charity somewhere. But my friends were happy. They were great. So you just have to think outside of the box. And my boss was happy. All the garbage was getting picked up. He didn't care, right? So all kinds of fun experiences. We should all have those fun experiences.
Absolutely.
It's a different
The
way to think
benefit-
outside the
The
box.
benefit of a team, in many
Yes.
aspects, as opposed to just being all out there all by yourself.
I don't know that I would do that now, but bosses do, right? If they hire you for minimum wage, they're not making minimum wage,
Right.
right? So when you dream about working for yourself, then you get to be that boss. And
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
And just we try to respect people's time during these interviews, and we never like to end, but we do have to wrap it up here in a moment. But just quickly, can you talk about like stress in being in a situation that you don't want to be in, and how perhaps some of these ideas we've been talking about, do one thing at a time, just baby steps, maybe have a vision of what you'd like to do, and then take a little step. Does that start to take stress away
Absolutely.
right away? And just something about the stress factor.
Yes, right. So when you just switch your mindset from that burden and the whole elephant, and you shift it to, a light and a joy because it brings you light and joy. And one little bite of something that's just amazingly delicious. It's just the tiny little steps and transitioning as fast as you can. When you realize that your mind is spiraling down that negative, complicated, dark hole that it's hard to get back, the faster that you can put the brakes on and say, stop, I'm worthy of more, I'm worthy of happiness. Or at the very least, I'm worthy of neutrality. I'm worthy of peace. And then take the next step to be like, okay, I got this. One step at a time, one breath at a time, one moment at a time, because I'm worthy, and we don't know how long we have. Just like Mia said in the beginning, there's no guarantee. So claim your happiness now. Don't put it off. Be present now with your loved ones, with yourself.
So
With that, I think it brings the freedom, not only the inner peace, but that inner peace feeds your path, whatever that may be professionally, which also can take care of the financial aspect. Because so many people, I think, stay put because they're governed by the financial piece. But when you allow the inner person, as you've explained so beautifully, to shine, that can also shine on your bank account.
Yes, yes, and usually does.
Mm.
I for sure, I'll disclose with the more you give, and that doesn't have to be monetarily. If you can afford monetarily, even if it's $1, but if you can give of yourself, that energy comes back tenfold over and over and over again. So if you have to just start somewhere, give up your time. That always comes back, and that gives you the strength then to start moving forward to give monetarily.
Yeah, because
Very
it's
good.
like the more people you can bless, the
right.
better off everybody is.
It's
And
win-win.
like meeting that spiral of negativity right away is the first step, perhaps, to overcoming the stress of the situation and finding your way out of a situation that you're not happy with. So we would love to carry this on. Right now, we need to say thank you so much,
Aw.
Angel Lotus, for joining us and sharing ideas about finding one's way into a better work situation, or at the very least, a better mindset about the work you're currently in. And we're just really grateful to have had you share with us today. And thank you, everybody, for joining us here at Activate and Thrive. We have more ideas that we can share with you about finding your right place and opportunities to grow with different ways to make money than perhaps you have been accustomed to. And we'd be happy to share more ideas about that if you want to message us and engage with us, or if you have any questions for Angel, we'll be happy to connect you with her. So thank you very much for joining us today. Look for us each week at Activate and Thrive, Thriving Thursday Chats. Thank you so much, Angel.
Thank you, Angel, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
See you next week.